Namaste. Adesh Adesh. Welcome back to the Empowered Through Tantra channel. Today we're going to address a question by Bhumi Das. And the question is asked is that if I could explain the three colors of Tantra. Now, as you may be aware, often there are three colors designated with Tantra. They are black, red, and white. And the closest association to those three colors are the gunas. So, tamas with black, rajas with red, and sattva with white. The gunas being the material modes of nature. Now, I would like to expand on the explanation of the three colors of Tantra, just beyond the gunas. So, if we start with the color black, the black signifies the womb, the prima materia, the emptiness, the void, from which everything comes from. Okay? So, here we're talking about matter, the physical body, and also death. So the tamas guna. Now, when we look at the subtle body, our energetic body, so to speak, where the nadis and the conjunction points of those nadis are giving rise to the chakras within that subtle body, the color black is related to the Ida Pingala, or the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, almost every place of pilgrimage in India has a location or a correspondence in the subtle body. And the Ida Nadi corresponds to the Ganga, to the Ganges river, representative of a flow of consciousness. Now, there are further association with the color black. So I mentioned death, so therefore the concept of thanatos, the death urge. Everything that takes birth must die. This is a law, a natural law. And in between that process of birth and death, there's almost a drive towards death along the way. And we feel deaths, various little deaths along the way. For example, we have daylight and we have night time. Night time is a death of a day. And to a new birth, a new day the following day with sunrise. Also, loss of a loved one, the ending of a relationship, changes in our life, changes in career, moving place, this all requires a death and a rebirth. So we experience a series of death throughout our lives until the demise of a physical body. So that's representative of this color black. So from a tantric sadhana perspective, here we're looking at smashan sadhana or cremation ground practices to overcome the fear of death. Because that's the greatest fear we have, is death. Both of the physical body, but also in regards to the uncertainties of life, of where we put all of our energy and investment in, and the fear of losing that, whether that's in a relationship, in investments, whatever it may be, or creating a certain circumstance where that falls apart. All these are experienced as a temporary death. So by meditating the cremation ground, we understand the temporariness not only of life, but of everything. Kalima being the central representative of the Vama Marga and the Kaula Marg, her body is black. So the color black here, in regards to Tantra, refers to also to Kalima's body. Because she's the matrix, she's the womb where everything issues from, the whole universes. And also, she's the womb where everything resorbs back into her. And that process in Sanskrit is called pralaya. Reabsorption into the matrix in order for a new universe to be born. So these are some descriptions of the color black and how it's associated with Tantra and some of its perspective on life and the universe, and also in regards to some of its practices. Now we're going to move on to the red color. So the red color symbolizes the blood, the Shakti, the life force, yeah, the prana, Rajas Guna. In a subtle body, it is representative of the Pingala Nadi, the sympathetic nervous system. And from a pilgrimage point of view, it's symbolic of the red color of, and the Ida Nadi, of the Pingala Nadi, beg your pardon, of the Yamuna river. Of the Yamuna. It's the color red is also, you could associate with the astral, the subtle body, the subconscious mind as example. It's definitely associated with Eros, the Eros principle. So the color black, we associate that with Thanatos, and here we associate that with Eros. And in regards to Tantric sadhana, of course with Maituna. Spiritualized, beg your pardon, sexual congress. Which is designed to awaken and to raise the Kundalini Shakti, that evolutionary force within ourselves, which lies dormant in the Muladhara chakra, in our base chakra. So the concept of Maituna is to actually awaken this energy. So in Tantra, we use the sexual force as a means to awaken Kundalini. So we do that in a ritual context. Maituna involves quite a bit of preparation of the two participants, as well as a ritual involving mantras, sharing of certain consecrated substances and so forth. So in a normal sexual act, the energy travels from down and out in order to be able to fertilize a womb. In Maituna, in tantric sexual practices, the energy is reversed from down and out to in and up the stairways of heaven, to impregnate the cranial womb. And instead of manufacturing, so to speak, to produce rather, physical children, we create mental/spiritual children. It's also the way for the energy of Kalima concentrated in us as a Kundalini Shakti to rise and meet her spouse, Shiva, consciousness itself, in Sahasrara Chakra, in the nuptial chamber, for sexual congress to occur between consciousness and our own innate power that's been awakened, in order to expand consciousness, the aim being towards moksha, spiritual emancipation, the true meaning of liberation, the Word made flesh, becoming a living God. Different terminology to describe the same thing. To awaken Christ consciousness, to awaken Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness, as an aside, is not just about worshipping Krishna and chanting his name. Krishna is the universal principle of love, of unconditional love, prem, and bliss, ananda. So to become Krishna conscious is to embody unconditional love and bliss, the bliss of unconditional love. Otherwise, it will always be me, I, and thou. Remember, what is within is also without. What's above is also below. What's here is elsewhere. What's not here is nowhere else. Krishna consciousness is right here, right now. So, the colour red also embodies Kalima as her red tongue, and also as her blood dripping from her red tongue after consuming the demons. So this is representative of a lust for life and also of a Kundalini Shakti. Also, Ma's mantra, Krim, is the Bij mantra to energize prana, because she's the Adi Maha Shakti, the original and the great Shakti. The original of all powers is Kalima. Then we next move to the colour white. White can be associated with Shiva, with consciousness, with awareness. The light of awareness. The clear perception. You can also relate to the causal body, to the collective unconscious, of course the sattva guna. In our occult corporeality, in our subtle body, in other words, it represents Sushumna Nadi, the Centra Canalis, the stairways to heaven, so to speak. And from a pilgrimage perspective, it's representative of the Saraswati River, the subterranean river. So the colour white is also where, Ida and Pingala is reconciled. This is where Thanatos and Eros are reconciled within the Sadak. Because there's not going to be any movement as Sushumna unless Ida and Pingala are dynamically balanced and harmonized. So some of the spiritual practices, Tantra practices here, are meditation, japa, and manas puja. Remember, there is no Tantra without sadhana, concerted spiritual practice, or shall I say regular and committed. spiritual practice. And there is no Tantra sadhana without mantra. Because Tantra is a dynamic bridge. It's the energetic. It's, remember, the weaving and warping between the microcosm and the macrocosm, between the self and non-self, between the self, little s, and the self as a capital S, self. Between mind and pure consciousness. So mantra is a tool for the mind. Trayoti, tool, manas, mind. Mantra means a tool for the mind. To transform the mind. Yeah, to transform the mind. Mind is energy, the most subtle energy there is. So mantra, remember, using Sanskrit. Sanskrit is the lingua divina, the divine language that transforms the activity of the mind into a spiritual container. So in regards to Kanima, the color white is representative of her teeth. Her teeth are bright white. Symbolic of a sattva guna. Now, something that came in my contemplation upon Kali white teeth is the following. Be careful and be aware of what you chew. And with that, I'm not signifying the food that you eat. Because any food that you eat is pure if it's eaten in a transcendental state of mind. In a pure state of consciousness, everything is pure. So here I'm talking about something that's more subtle than that. We chew not only food during the day, we chew ideas, we chew words, we chew thoughts. We chew the reaction from our actions, what we call karma. So choose well, yeah? And we can only choose when we are aware. So developing more awareness is essential on a spiritual path in order to make the right choices. And in choice done with awareness comes real power. We become the controller of our destiny. We live by design and not by defect. We are no longer victims. Remember, as per one of our previous videos, a true tantric is a sovereign. Sovereign over his thoughts or her thoughts, over his or her feelings, over his or her actions. Why? Through the power of choice. So I hope this little speech, this little talk that I've given you on the 3 colors of Tantra has been beneficial to you. Don't forget to like my page below, and you can also subscribe to my video channel to be regularly kept updated on what's happening on the channel and of any new videos. And so I look forward to the next video. Please do not hesitate to send me your questions or any subject matters that you would like for me to discuss. And I wish you my blessings and all the very best. Jai Ma.